Assalamu
Okay.
alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for joining and then accepting the invite and having a conversation with me.
Thank you for opening the door. I've been wanting to talk about it, and I'm like, who's the right person that has the capacity to hear this? Because there's been so many people where I'll like share the stories with them and later realize they don't have the emotional capacity for it, or they're like, I can't hear this right now. So thank you for giving me the space and time. Thank
Well,
you.
no, thank you for giving me the space and time. Alhamdulillah. I be saying,
Alhamdulillah.
you're a warrior, you're a fighter out here. I get it motivated by your resilience. It seems like, I don't know why. Well, I guess I know why, but just in these times, a lot of the women, strong women, are on the forefront of taking up battles and challenges. And we, especially as Muslim men, just men in general, should be definitely out there with y'all. Y'all can't be out there like
Thank you. I agree. Mubarak. Inshallah, the Ummah will hear that and
I be
rise
saying a
up.
lot. Yeah, I be saying like, even with the picture with the Black Lives Matter, that woman that was standing face to face with the police.
Mhm.
Remember that picture?
I actually saw it at the exhibit in London for Misan. He did a full exhibit. He was the one that photographed that picture. So yeah, I definitely know which one you're talking about. Definitely.
Yeah. So may
And
Allah strengthen you in your efforts.
Jazakallah khair. And I see you. You took the opportunity of a lifetime and you're still going with it and you're centering everything around the ummah, which is what's needed. Like it's what's needed. Like even me, I've had to revisit my relationship with Allah and how I learned Islam and how it was taught and like remove the culture. And
I noticed that a lot of time, a lot of even when I just left Minnesota and a lot of the Somali community, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people bring their culture or their tribal or their other practices and mix it with Islam and it might taint it and then it leaves a bad taste, especially if women. I mean, women, especially it leaves a bad taste on women and it's not the true way for us to practice it because Islam came to liberate us from ignorance and days of Jahiliyyah and all these things. That's why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to the Arabs. Allah chose them to be an Arab because they were far worse off, burying their daughters, doing all type of things. And he came to and like we're going to talk about with slavery, he came to abolish slavery. You feel what I'm saying? So all through the Quran, it talks about monument and slavery, monument and slaves because they were in such a backwards way. And it was a reformation and a revolution, spiritually, mentally, and physically. But alhamdulillah. So, yes, once we learn this religion, it's perfect. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the blessing about I love about the Ummah. That's why I say make the Ummah great again.
I mean, Ya Rab.
I saw you in Lebanon and I saw the post about you speaking out about it in such a good fashion because it's like we're fighting for other people, but while we're watching injustice and turning a blind eye to it. So how you gonna get victory in that if you're supposed to be on the side of the righteous?
And it's like we have our boot over our neck and then our boot over black women's neck, dark-skinned black women specifically. And then here comes this bigger foot, Israel, on everybody. And
Right.
it's if y'all would just take foot, the boot off your neck first, you got to start with yourself. You have to
Yeah.
unlearn. And, they are people, and there are organizations that work on policy chain and NGOs that fight this. And they've seen a change in how, in some cases, where people get treated, but all of it just needs to be abolished. Like, people keep arguing the semantics of it. And, like, how dare you? Like, if it's that okay, you go do it. To begin with, they are being persecuted in their own country. So most of these women are coming from Ethiopia.
Habasha. Yeah.
hmm I met a woman from Sierra Leone, but really just African women, but mainly Ethiopian.
Yeah.
And I noticed that because when I was on um, I landed in Amman, I went to my gate, and I'm so confused because I'm looking at it and I'm like, it felt like a slave plane, not a slave ship, but with no chains. Just
Right.
my whole, and I'm like, is anybody processing what the fuck I'm processing? Like, do y'all see what I see?
Okay. So
Standing there staring, and all I see is a line for priority, line for economy, and then black women just kind of like they're almost like scared to have anyone talk to them. So everyone has like their back towards, and they're like very reserved to themselves. They're not engaging with nobody. They're except with themselves. They're trying to keep low, try to keep tight. It's a very tight. You don't need chains. It's crazy. I'm watching.
yeah, mental slavery. Mhm. What airport were you at?
I was at the Jordanian Royal Airport in Amman. King Abdullah? No, Queen Alia.
Okay.
Main airport in Amman, Jordan. I don't remember. They have so many names, but really, Jordan
Right,
is
no problem, no
like,
problem. But just to respond to what you said about the bigger foot on the neck while their foot's on other people's necks, and Allah tells us in the Quran, Allah won't change the condition of a people until you change the conditions of yourselves. So if you want justice and liberation and equality for others, you must exact that. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So you can't oppress, you can't be a
You can't be the
complicit in
oppressor.
doom. Yeah, yeah, you can't be a mini oppressor and expect to be liberated from oppression. So, what do you say to people that may say, well, they're coming from a worse situation and we're giving them opportunity of employment and they're getting paid a wage?
Then you accept that wage. Then you accept those conditions. Like, how dare you justify putting someone in a cage and being like, you need to be grateful for this cage? It just goes to show you their colonized state of mind. Because to them, it's just a transaction. You know, like when I landed in Lebanon, I literally asked every Lebanese person about the kafala. I just mentioned it. Even our driver that was taking us on tour everywhere. I don't know who these people are, what it is, but I just kept asking, like, do you guys have it? And they're like, no. We don't really do these things anymore. It's just like in the news, but you can't believe the news. And I was like, no, nobody believe the news. Don't trip. And not even like with one woman, not even 5 minutes later, she was like, well, you pay a company 2,000 and you get a girl, start her off 150, 200 a month. For reference, and the average rent can start at like five, 600 in Beirut, like on the broke side, you know, like not broke side, but just like if you're really squeezing pennies. Because
Indigent, the
Beirut does
impoverished side.
have a lot of beautiful, it is expensive. It's an expensive city.
I know, and it's all brown. I was there briefly, and I was like, that Jordanian dollar is worth more than the American dollar. You lose money when you exchange the American dollar to the Jordanian dollar, and it's not even like a modern city. Everything was like it was the sand color, and the buildings were the same as the sand.
You know, and like Lebanon, you got to understand, southern Lebanon is
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry. We talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about Jordan. Yeah, yeah, right. Lebanon is another country. Okay, so you
Yeah, but Jordan is even worse with the kafala.
okay,
Because they were already in the Jordanian airport. So they're facilitating, they're a part of it, they're complicit.
right. So
Everybody's
that's like a
complicit.
hub. That's like a hub for the transaction.
Everybody's complicit. It's crazy. We don't need chains anymore. We don't need ships. We don't need, they're right there on the flight next to me. She's right next to me. I'm sitting next to an enslaved woman and I pull up my phone and I'm like typing in Google Translate Aramaic
Hmm.
Ethiopian link. I'm trying to pull it up. There's no option Google Translate, whatever. And then I end up getting online before we take off, and I'm like, "Where are you from? Like, what is going on?" And I tried to show it to her. There's three seats. The guy on the end just like looks at me, and she's like, and I'm watching, and I'm like, "Did I just get her in trouble?"
Oh, so she was with her sponsor?
I don't know who she was with, but there's no way you were gonna move that many women without other people or
Right, for sure. Moving chaperoning. You sure right. Now this is not for any superiority or question where like my empathy will go because of whatever they are. But I'm just asking, do you know the religion of these Ethiopian people, the Ethiopian women? And the reason why I'm asking is because when I
Christian.
visited, okay, that's what I'm about to say.
It looked like Black Jesus on her Snapchat.
Right,
Jesus
okay.
was black on her Snapchat.
Because
And
the
it,
reason why
go ahead.
I asked is because when I visited occupied Palestine, I was in Jerusalem and I saw, as soon as I landed in Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, I saw a lot of the Ethiopian women, the Jewish women,
Mm.
cleaning the airports and whatnot. They had like the markings, and you hear stuff about them being sterilized in Israel. So I know the ones that are Jewish or practice Judaism go to that area, Israel, Palestine, but working for the Israeli people, Israeli citizens, and the Israeli government, and they're quote unquote Israeli citizens, but they're at the lower bottom of the totem pole. And I noticed that before any of this like 2016. I'm like, oh, I could see they were like more the working class, subservient class, the quote unquote black, the African Jew, the Ethiopian Jew.
You
So
know,
that's why I was wondering.
if
I was
you
wondering all
think,
the Jews would go there, and then you say the Christians are coming to these other countries.
yes, and we think that religion is a factor, your country of origin is a factor. We think any of these things, and it's like, no, they literally think dark skin is intended to serve. Dark
Right.
skinned Black women are intended to serve. Literally, this is the mentality and what I learned after all these conversation. I'm like, so this is your lens.
Right.
I
And
was
it's
like, do
sad.
you think these women should be able to have other jobs? They're like, if their madame lets them, I'm like, what the fuck is a madame? Like, you bought a person?
Right.
It's what's not clicking, Sally. And I just like stared at her and she's like, I don't do it. My family doesn't do it. It's just other people do it. And the more I travel and I talk about all these enslaved system, the more I realize like the only thing holding this up is paperwork and our silence.
And I
Why are
hear
we
they
pretend?
hold passports, right?
Hmm?
They'll hold the enslaved African
So they here's what they tell them.
passport.
You sign up with a company. By the way, these companies are public. Saudi Arabia introduced this program.
Right.
So it's all over the Gulf countries and it's all over Lebanon as well, Egypt, definitely in all these countries. And the intent was to provide opportunities for Africans.
Right.
And they say they will give you a job starting at 500. They say you will have a room. You're promised and given amenities and human rights initially. And the minute you land, you're being treated, they're being herded like sheep. I hate to say that because I'm like, even by the way, at the airport, I was like, I'm gonna go stand with the black women. And the guy's like, hey,
Mhm.
and he like, I wasn't even allowed to stand next to them. So they're not allowed to engage with the public. They're not allowed to look up. They're not allowed to talk. They're not allowed to this. And everybody around is like, this is the way it is.
Real subservient.
And it like no one looks at it and is like, that's fucked up. This shouldn't happen. I should say something.
This is inhumane.
This is inhumane. They don't see it as inhumane. That's what's scary.
So what do you think that comes from? See, this is my problem. Okay, let me ask you, what do you think that comes from?
I know it comes from this toxic culture of your dad is always right, be quiet. And it's the dads that don't like their daughters questioning them, um, that get in the most trouble. And because most of them will listen.
Yeah.
And so it comes be a game of the man is upset, be quiet. And it's very, Lebanese people are very white aspirational. Like like very white aspirational. Y'all
Yeah.
walk around like your
A
shit.
lot of Indian people are like that too. I know.
Oh, there's so many white aspirational people around the world, and it's like, what are you aspiring to be?
Mm.
Thief?
Not even that. You try.
It's
They're aspiring to
entitlement.
be
They want
the
the
oppressor.
entitlement to disrespect and zero consequences, but there's always consequences. And they don't see the value in others because they don't see the value in themselves. It's a very codependent society. It's very much everyone be quiet, people. We're getting married, the people. Everything's the people. And it's just like you're so worried about opinions, but it's in all the wrong places. Like when it comes to human rights, when it comes to treating someone the way you want to be treated, no. And we're not talking about like little stories here and there, like 1 in 4 Ethiopian women die in the hands of Lebanese people. In Beirut specifically, southern Lebanon doesn't even have these things, but they die because of either escape or suicide. A friend of mine was in Beirut and literally witnessed a woman hanging off the balcony trying to escape. Like they really think they bought you and now they can do whatever to you.
What type of conditions do these black women endure?
They say it's a range, and and they're like, no, some people really respect them. I'm like, there's nothing respectful about this system. But it's for the most part, it's really harsh conditions because when I see them out, I was out sitting at a restaurant and her nanny came. Everyone is dressed to the T, but she's in a t-shirt, jeans, and whatever sneakers she'd had since day one. She definitely looked like she showered and all the things, but she's really young and really scared and all the things. In terms of conditions, no, they're not good. The men are very entitled. They give themselves permission to do whatever they want. There are videos of black women being dragged by their hair in the middle of the street because they're upset and they needed to take it out on someone, and no one responds.
So
I can
no, there's
send
no
you the
law
video. I
enforcement.
can
So
send you.
do they have the liberty to go to like to law enforcement and say this person, my sponsor, is abusing me and hitting me? Do they have anybody, any type of advocate for them
They call her
in these
madame.
conditions?
They call her madame. And if she says so, you're good. But no, they literally escape. I need to run away. Like, leave the family, like, go anywhere else, work anywhere else.
Okay,
You
now
could,
with this going on, and it seems like it's been going, and I got a few things I want to say, but with this going on, why do you think people still from these African countries get tricked, sign up with these companies to be sponsored and be a part of the kafala and come here when the women that are abused can send word home like, hey, this ain't better, the grass ain't green on this side.
you're right, but the same way we saw Gazans still
And,
go
and I'm
to
just
the,
playing Libyan's advocate.
no, you're fine. No, no,
I'm
no,
just
you're,
playing Libyan advocate.
no, we have to address this.
Arab advocate. Yeah, yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
They don't need an advocate right now. They're loud enough about
Right.
all the wrong things, very complicit in all genocides. But the same way we saw Gazans still go to the foundation sites, those
Right.
killing sites, you knew you was gonna die. This was very mind-boggling to me too. I'm like, you win anyways. And there are some people on this earth that are like, maybe not for me.
Right. Maybe I'll be the one that make it. Maybe I'm the one that'll get a good madam.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
and that's sad. And it's a
maybe I'm
double-edged
different.
sword. It's a double-edged sword. We got to try to work for advocacy on both sides, the lands in Africa, and then also these Arab lands who are exploiting the lands in Africa that are already destabilized by Western imperialism, America, all these European countries over, hundred of years of pillaging, raping the land and resources and destabilizing the government and turning people against each other. Yeah, it's wild trickery. And it seems like you might think that there's no end solution to it. I'm sure you probably were overwhelmed with grief and sorrow just seeing people in these conditions in the big 2025, knowing that's the Black American ancestry, but just seeing it in real time and you ain't got the magic pen to eradicate it. So I'm sure that was just, hard for you to digest. And I'm glad you spoke out. That's it. While you were there, it seems like, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people really told me not to.
Yeah.
They were genuinely concerned. They're like, we're about self-preservation. Please be careful. Like, you speak up. Anybody that stops, um, you know, black women from being traded around here, you're pissing off a lot of people because a lot of people value the money more than the people. That's obvious. That's why you have the people that are being quiet because they're getting paid in the name of a job, which is the same concept here. Nobody wants to go on a full strike because of their job and their comfort. And I think the fact that there are lines on the map that decided this person is from here and that person is from there, therefore we're different. Like it's not different. It's not. You have two homes, your mind and planet Earth. Also, in Rand studies, I have to send you the link and you'll post it. Israel already said in Lebanon what they're gonna do is divide the Shia and Sunni. Like it was their goal to make Lebanon known as the Shia state that hates the Sunnis and the Sunnis hate the Shias. All they did was say it and everybody ran with it.
Follow suit, divide and conquer. So they don't understand that there's a common enemy and that there's a division and well, I guess they're detached. They see as a Muslim who came into
It's the
Islam.
same as
And,
here. How can I convince you ICE is fucking terrible and y'all are
right,
like make America
great again.
like you're repeating what your dad told you and your dad didn't even like himself. Like there was no love in your home. There can't be.
Well, in an institution and in a civilization where you just left, a country where you just left, where it's a part of the culture. What can we do as two human beings, or as human beings that are not in government, or don't have militaries, or don't whatever, to try to help some of these women who are going through this situation? What do you think?
So the best thing you can do, really and truly, and this is what I've learned, because I did this at the airport, I made everybody uncomfortable. I don't care. Activism is in the moment. You see injustice, something you should activate. We're past recording. Like, I don't even have documentations of this because I've put myself in it. And I know because I have an American passport, you can't do that much to me.
Right.
I mean, if I was in southern Lebanon and Israel's there, sure, but not now. But there are a few nonprofit organizations and people you can follow so you can support these women, but really they need a voice. Do you see how I talked about it after everyone told me not to? That's the
Right.
thing too. Whenever Black people are going through hell, all of a sudden we want to debate if it's a hell worth talking about. That's the ugly shit we got to change. It's worth every time to mention it. Because
Okay.
I've also had a lot of Muslims and Arabs that reached out and was like, no, I grew up in Lebanon. I got stories for days. And they're aware and they're like, once I said it out loud, it pushes the window mentally and they're like, okay, got it.
And
And
it's not just Lebanon, it's too, it's a lot of Arab countries. And I get a lot of flack for that in the comments from a lot of the Hebrew Israelites, a foundational Black Americans.
because they're right. Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia is terrible for it. I personally, my friend's husband, he has been stuck in Saudi Arabia for 10 years. They won't give him his passport. So his family can't come visit. They won't give him visas. He can't leave.
What's his nationality?
He's, I think, Sudanese.
Yeah. And
No,
speaking of
anybody
Sudanese,
dark
that's
skin. Anybody
that's
dark.
what
They played us. They really, and you know what? It's not our timeline. And by not our timeline, I mean like I'm Arab African. It's not our time. And we're not going to see Palestine free anytime soon. There's no, like, Palestine is freeing all of us at the expense of their blood, because that's what freedom costs, blood.
yes.
Much of our blood has to
You are
shed
correct.
before you
That is a bar.
realize
That is a
how
bar.
much of our blood do we have to shed before you realize your politicians don't have power, you do. These governments don't have power, you do. Power to the people, and it ends and starts with you. And like we're still subconsciously looking for like a man to come and save us. Or I think the people that are really religious, despite your religion, think that God is just gonna
Okay.
magically change things. And like, no, Allah
Now
says,
we got to
camel
put the work
and
in.
then walk. He
Right.
said, tie your camel, then
Trust in Allah and tie up the camel. Faith without works is dead. So
dead.
two things quick. One, okay, I don't see this is my thing. This lets me know how far detached anybody that participates in this kafala in the way the conditions that you express it is as
Mhm.
far away from their religion because one, the mother, our prophet taught us, the mother of the Arabs is a Black woman from Egypt. So this is your mother. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the
Egyptians
Black
don't
woman,
think
you
they're
would not
black.
have.
I'm
Yeah.
Egyptian. They don't think we're black. Like when I was there, I was trying to understand it, by the way. I was talking to this Sudanese man who's lived in the Gulf, who's lived over here, and I mentioned it to him. He's like, oh yeah, they're all anti-black. They're disgusting. And they don't know and they don't think they know. He said in Egypt, it's worse because there's no education. There's none. There's people not even kindergarten, but you could still make a living.
Right. Well,
So
I think I when I see that and I see I'm biased. I'm not biased. I guess I'm jaded because in my experiences in all these countries, Dubai, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, I got treated with I can say everybody rolled out a red carpet for me. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got the American
Stand
English.
by. Hold
You
on.
know.
Important. This is important. You cannot manipulate without being charming. This is so important. I have to feed you an experience you can talk about to everybody else. Meanwhile, where are the black women in society? Where are you? Why are you hiding? Why are they forced to hide? Why are they not invited? Why are they not welcome? Why do you think they're other?
Right.
It,
So
no, it doesn't matter how you slice it up. They just see dark skin. She could be in all the, she could be in anything. They are subconsciously the fuck jealous.
yeah. And what I honestly in my travels, I thank God that's why the name I was given the name Zul-Qarnain. Allah blessed me to be able to travel the world like the Zul-Qarnain from the Quran. And my intention is to be of service. Like the Zul-Qarnain from the Quran was of service. They called upon him to build the wall for Yajuj and Majuj and many other things wherever he went, to the east, to the west, and he would spread righteousness and not seeking a reward from the people he was serving. He knew the reward came from Allah. And in my travels, whether it's Africa, Trinidad, or all parts of Africa, that's why I'm saying the Middle East, China, we do see Black people, skin people at the bottom of the totem pole. And in my synopsis, I came with an analysis. This is not off of Quran and Hadith, but this is just from learning my religion and studying and observing, and even Black people here in America, because people will say that that's what the whole Hebrew Israelite thing, Black Hebrew Israelite thing is, that we are the true descendants of the Israelites, and we suffered the 400 years of enslavement here in America that the Bible prophesies, and we are the descendants of those from, because when you think, and I'm sorry I jumped quick, but just when
No,
you think Egypt, you know what I'm saying, you think Cairo now, which is in North Egypt, 30 million people. But of the time of the Pharaoh, it was in South Egypt. I saw it with my own eyes. They Swan. This is South Egypt, where the people look like Sudanese, dark-skinned Nubian people. You know what I'm saying? And that's where all of the hieroglyphics and all of the monuments and all of the artifacts are. They're there. In the hotel we was at, they was like, oh, this was one of Pharaoh's kingdom. And this is the bottom of the Nile. So when you think about the mother of the Arabs, Ibrahim's, peace and blessings be upon him, second wife, who was who was the mother of the Arabs, the mother of Ishmael. That's the area she came from, you know? And so, because, you know, Abraham had two wives, Sarah and Sarah and Hajar. Sarah was the mother of the Israelites, where Jesus and everybody came from. Moses came from that lineage. Hajar is the Arab lineage, and that's where Ishmael came from, many generations down. And I'm sorry, Ishmael was the child, but I'm saying many generations down, that's the mother of the Arabs. Forgive me for anything I said improper. But with that being said, those are Black Africans. So in my travels, I see Black people on the bottom of the totem pole, and I thought of, you know, in the Quran, Allah teaches us that man, Adam, was made from the blackest mud in paradise. So I'm sorry, the blackest mud in earth. Allah took, this is Quranic. Allah, not paradise, forgive me. Allah took the black mud from earth and shaped Adam, sounding clay. It says this in the Quran, clear as day. Then breathed life into him, the spirit, the ruh. So then Allah said, this is my best creation. And he said this in the company of the angels. His angels were there, and he told them all to prostrate before Adam. The devil, who was a jinn, not an angel, was adjacent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was a jinn. His name was Iblis, and he was in the favor of God. He was the highest ranking jinn in one of God's top soldiers. He was the highest ranking jinn. He just happened to be in the company of the angels when Allah commanded them to prostrate, and he disobeyed because he felt offended or disrespected because he's made from smokeless fire. He just watched Adam be made from black mud, and he tells God, this is all Quranic, that why would I prostrate to him? He's made from mud. He's not better than me. Why would I submit myself to him? Because the jinn have free will like the human beings. The angels have no free will. The angels all prostrated. Long story short, of course, he got cast out of paradise for that. He asked God, listen, give me some time, give me reprieve, and I'll show you this human being you put over me will forget you and not worship you and be ungrateful to you. And and God gave him that time. That's what this whole life is about, you know. And the devil's gonna wait for us in the front, the back, the side, all sides, laying traps to get us away from the remembrance of Allah. And that's what Islam is about. So now here we go to the black women, black men. So now, if the devil's whole goal is to show God that we are ungrateful, and Adam is the reason, his disobedience to Allah, but not bowing to Adam, is the reason he's now in paradise and will be cast into the hellfire. Who is he angry at? He's angry at Adam, made from the blackest mud on the earth, dark skin. So now when you see any black human being, this is your app. This is your number one app. So you're going to use any and everything to oppress this person that every time you see that dark skin reminds you why you're not in paradise. Now, this is Quranic science.
Never learn the Quran from that perspective or lens.
Well, if you read it, you'll just make an analysis. But I'm saying, this is my analysis of it. But the Quran tells us that Adam is made from black mud.
You're on to something.
Right.
I've never put two and two together.
And the devil is kicked out of paradise.
No, I was never taught that he was made out of black clay.
It's in black. It's in the Quran. It ain't. All you got to do is read it.
I know. I know.
I got you. But I'm saying, I understand. But you got.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But
You're
that's
right.
that's why Islam. But no. But I'm not about you. What I'm saying is,
no, I have to.
That's why Islam tells us to learn this religion for yourself, so nobody could just tell you anything. A lot of Muslims, a lot of people who claim Islam, just go off of what somebody tell them, but they never take the time to study the religion and learn it. So, of course, the devil is on attack all around the world, using black people, Arabs, everybody, to further oppress the imagery of somebody, of Adam and Eve, because Eve was made from Adam, the black woman who has the Eve gene, who can create, that's science, who can create all races and ethnicities.
Races and ethnicities.
I know you know about the Eve gene. If not, do your homework on the Eve gene. They pull that gene out, and they say every race can come from that gene, and no other gene can replicate that. That has the full DNA complexity, complete of humanity. And like, just like the Neanderthal is one chromosome or something off, or the Nordic or whatever the thing is, they're not all the way complete like this. That's why they did all these science experiments on black people, because they have the full spectrum. That's why with the Henrietta Lacks and the syphilis things, the scientists, people know that they have this, just like, you know what I'm saying? They say this with all the time, same with autism, all that. So I don't have all the facts in front of me,
You
But
do.
but
You gave me, I'm about to go on a black hole because you just unlocked a piece of me that I needed to be open. I've always known that everything started with black people. It's just the only way it made sense. My family didn't co-sign that theory. They're like, it started with Adam and I was like, he was what? Like, he didn't have a race. I'm like, what sense?
but our prophet
Those are
tells us
so,
this.
by the way, the more I think about how little Black people are acknowledged in all these places, that's why when you get older, you're like, what do you mean you want a voice? This whole time, you're conditioning to people that their voice holds no value. And that is, I want
So
you to know we have 4 minutes, 21 seconds on this.
I gotta go to work. People
Okay.
calling me now, but it's okay.
So
But
I
to
do want to
wrap
let you
up,
know I'm going to
right,
send you resources that you can share with your followers and
everybody, everything,
you can
whatever. We're
follow.
gonna collab post or whatever, and I'm posting with the link, all that.
Yeah,
Can you
so I'm
collab
gonna
post or they block your thing from doing that? You can do that?
I can collab now. Yeah, I can't go live for a year.
Well, I want to give the what I believe is a solution and protection for that, because it's like, okay, what is that? Because you come up with this synopsis, does that mean black people got to suffer? No, I believe honestly that the proper Islam is our protection, and yes, there's so many black people, that Muslims who are being oppressed by quote unquote other Muslims. I see about the stuff in Libya and slave trade. I believe just like the Gazan suffering is their key to paradise, the highest point of paradise. I pray that Allah's mercy is upon the dark-skinned person that's born into a life with minimal
Hmm.
opportunities.
Hmm.
Racial discretion, racial oppression, everything, all the blocks against them. You know what I'm saying? All the odds against them. But I believe the more pious we are, just like I believe Allah had mercy on me and protected me from so many things, that learning the religion, practicing religion is our covering, our protection from all of these evil things that we will see as we live. The more we return to Allah and follow the sunnah of our prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that is our safeguard from being victims of that. And we must speak out against it, because just like me, I'm protected from it, you're protected from it. Alhamdulillah, you're using your voice to speak out against it, because if it wasn't for the mercy of Allah, we could be in those positions.
One decision away from being there. One decision. One. I could have lost my paperwork. Could have missed my flight. Then what? Without paperwork, you're literally under society's mercy of what they perceive you as.
Yeah, and that's sad that there's no advocates for the people there. Like you say, call it what you want. And Islam came to monument slavery. So that's my offense, that these lands who were blessed with Islam, they didn't have to go find it,
You know?
get it later. You're neglecting the knowledge, the wisdom, and the mercy that Allah bestowed upon you. It's like you're spitting in the deen, spitting at the Quran by not being obedient to the guidance that you know is the truth for your own self desires. And Islam came to better our character and teach us to master our self desires. We must master our knives. So I take offense to it in that, and whatever I can do, what I mean, I'm here, and I'm glad you spoke out about it. I'm glad you give us this testimony, seeing it firsthand. So no, you can't deny it when you go to these places. And I get a lot of flack. People be like, you Arabs don't like black people. What you speaking out for Palestinians for? Well, at the end of the day,
There's
these
Black Palestinians. First of
yeah,
all,
for
again,
sure.
we don't think they exist in these
I've
places.
seen a lot of them. They DM me, but I'm not going to neglect somebody else's suffering that's a part of the Ummah just because their ethnicity is doing atrocities. May Allah deal with them. And I know it's anti-Islamic. So, but I'm not isolated with speaking for just Palestinians. I'm for all human beings that are going through oppression, because Allah saved me from it and gave me the knowledge of it. And we got to utilize the resources to be the best of mankind for mankind. And that's what the religion teaches us.
I mean, we are
Okay.
closing out. Thank you for your
Okay.
time.
Thank you.
Have an incredibly acidic
We
day.
might have to do this once a month or something. Just recap
Inshallah, I
the
would love
conversation.
to, definitely.
And I think I talked too much. I wish you could have
No,
talked more. I did
no,
talk too much. I did.
no.
But
I
I
was
just wanted to get
following
that
and
part
I'm
out.
like, yeah. So we have
Thank
to
you.
do this again. Allahumma barik and ma'as salama.
Right.
Jazakallah.
Salaam alaikum. Thank you. La yufisi bilillah.
Likewise, likewise. Thank you.